Hello Animorphs fans, welcome back to the Animorphs YouTube channel, and today we're going back through the Animorphs TV series, but we've got Raptor with us, and we're just going to sit back, have a bit of banter, and I'm hoping by the end of it we'll rate the episode, because that's something I didn't do last time and it's something I'm going to have to do for future videos. So we're doing it again, and we've got more drinking rules. But before we go into the drinking rules, say hello Raptor and tell us a bit about yourself.
Hello, my name is Old School Raptor. I hang out on the Animorphs Discord, and I generally lurk around Animorphs things on the internet, the subreddit, and all that other kind of stuff. Just hanging out, having fun, excited to be here.
You're not drinking though, are you? It's only me that's drinking.
No.
But you are
No.
doing what?
I am. So, because it is 2 in the afternoon here versus your British time, I have 2 Axe favorites that I will be consuming whilst we do this. One will be delicious popcorn grease, which I popped from this popcorn bag. And then I also have a classic, actual, real-life Cinnabon.
Round of applause. Round of applause. No engine oil, though, I noticed, or dryer lint.
Or, I also opted to go out of the cigarette butts because I figured probably not the best health choice.
Probably not healthy, no.
Some would say.
We have new drinking rules specifically for this watch-through. And no, Medi Twazak, you can't just suggest a million new rules. You can suggest one. So, we're drinking in fingers as per usual, and you're eating in however much you deem fit. And it's 2 fingers for inner monologues, one finger for stock noises, 3 fingers for cliches, 2 fingers for attempted jokes, 2 fingers for costume change, and 3 fingers for outdated tech. So it's going to be a pretty hard-hitting one, and I'm sure we'll have plenty of fun.
Absolutely. And then mine is every time I hear any of those, I take a lick of popcorn grease. And when I get 5 licks of popcorn grease, I take a bite of Cinnabon.
But does that, so if I get like if there's a cliche and I have to drink 3 fingers, is that 3 licks?
No.
Oh, come on!
Actually, sure. Okay, you've convinced me. I'll do 3 licks.
That's peer pressure at work.
Well, I also I bought a box of mini bonds just in case of this scenario. I foresaw the possibility of multiple cinnamon buns, so I did prepare.
What you'll find is that the people watching this will start suggesting new rules, and it will just get worse and worse. And then you'll get to the episode Face Off, and you'll just die.
Well,
That's
you know what?
happens.
Here's a public service announcement. Don't cave to peer pressure.
I fail at that every time. There doesn't even need to be pressure, there just needs to be peer, and I'll do anything. There's a thing called peer pressure, though.
Oh, is that where you get pressured by pears?
Yes.
Is it entirely fruit? I did not know there was an entirely fruit-based category of
Yes.
pressure. That's news to me.
Science has actually discovered that if you take a person and put them in any persuasive situation, they're more likely to accept it if there's a pear close by.
I can believe that. They're very convincing, those pears.
And you should believe it. They did that study in Wuhan, I think. Yeah. No, it's bollocks. Right, so we're going to watch episode 1 today. My name is Jake, part 1. What's your... I think the viewers here know my experience with the TV show. What's your experience with the TV show?
Oh, man. So, me and my dad read through the entire Animorphs series as it was coming out. So I got into Animorphs exactly the way most people in America did, where I went to a Scholastic book fair, they had a copy of the book. I thought it was cool because it had aliens and lizards on it. I was super into reptiles and other types of things growing up. So we read through the whole series, and then we had always talked about together the idea of, wouldn't it be cool if they made a movie or a television show about this? So in the United States, when they announced that Nickelodeon would be having a Animorphs television show, we obviously immediately decided to tune in.
How naive you were.
Yeah, so we tuned in and we watched it every single week as it premiered. And needless to say, we were constantly disappointed.
Well, that's what we're here for today, is to be disappointed. Just basically to rip it to shreds. That's what I'm here for.
Yes.
And just have a bit of banter in the meantime. Shall we get
If you really love something, you should be able to make fun of it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like my family, I love them to bits, but I don't get half a sentence without insulting them in some way. It's great.
As is the nature, I'm sure, with most families.
Yes, precisely. Most healthy families, I think you'll find.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so we're going to get started on this. We can both pause it, so anytime we think there's something we need to talk about, or whether we just can't take any more and need to diverge on something else, we'll pause it. This is My Name is Jake, part 1. And are you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We can go.
In the words of Rachel.
Half an hour ago.
And already in a monologue, 2 fingers drink.
All right, here we go.
2 licks.
Here we go.
I'm drinking Estrella again. I like this drink. It's nice and light. It doesn't kill me when I try to down it.
I generally like lighter tasting things too. Sometimes I'll dabble with dark, but I'm mostly, when I do,
Have you had
how I go to.
Have you had a good lick, by the way?
I had 2 good licks already.
Smashing.
So we're good.
Right, Jake, Sean, take the helm.
I was just a regular kid. Not anymore. It's amazing how quickly your whole life can change.
Such great slow motion.
This direction is something to behold, really, isn't it?
So I think that retro games falls under outdated technology.
No,
Like,
I think we're about to see some outdated technology in a bit.
okay.
That's
So we'll
uncontroversial.
just do that.
I think just old games isn't technically outdated tech.
There's some pretty bad visual tech in this stuff.
That does look pretty gopping, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's funny though that they're. You realize it just says "My name is Jake" on the screen.
Oh, it's almost like that's the name of the episode. It's exciting.
Is it though? Where's part
Is
1?
that a cliche? Does that fall under a cliche category?
No, you're just trying to get me drunk. No, stop it. Not even 30 seconds in. And
Hey, there is a delicious Cinnabon here that demands eating, so I'm just saying.
You just have to bide your time, mate. You can't, because, yeah, you get to eat a lovely, delicious meal and still feel alive tomorrow.
True.
I'm drinking.
True.
It's a totally different kettle of fish. Look how happy Homer is, by the way.
He's a good boy. That dog is a good boy.
No, actually, no, he's not, and you'll see why.
No?
You'll see why. You'll see why he's a bad boy.
Okay. Why is a dog allowed in the mall?
We talked about this the other day as well. Why are there plants in a sci-fi room?
I have never experienced, especially in the late 90s, I don't think I ever experienced a arcade that ever fell into this category of, I want to say, long voyage spaceship with plants growing in it for oxygen production. I have no idea why there are so many plants. If anything, the only plants that would be growing would be like the rotten plants that find a way to grow out of the food that is underneath all of the arcade machines.
Oh, that sounds good.
Right?
That sounds good.
So good.
Maybe it's Gaffinilan. Maybe he's lurking somewhere.
The secret season 4 that we never got.
Yeah, I finished reading book 40, so I'm full of book 40 references.
There you go. Timely. I like it.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, this... I don't think...
Are you dreaming, Parker? You dreaming? What do you think, Homer?
Does that... Yeah, it's just bizarre. It's so confused. It's a sci-fi arcade and there are plants growing everywhere.
Well, it's like Homer. Homer is clearly not a service dog. Clear. Like, if he was like, I would love to see the world where they totally be like, okay, we're gonna convince all these people that we need this service dog to take into this arcade. I'm not buying it. He doesn't even have a cool vest or jacket or anything.
But you forgot one thing. That certain arcades have exceptions for plot convenience purposes.
Oh, I always forget the Deus Ex Machina clause. That's always the...
What, Homer's going to do a Deus Ex Machina? I think you've got your terms mixed up.
the god of the machine demands that they go to the construction site.
Well, okay.
Or is that a MacGuffin? I don't know. Is Homer a MacGuffin, or is he a Deus Ex Machina?
It's not a MacGuffin. Well, maybe. He is canon to the books, though. I'll tell you what is a MacGuffin in this series. I won't tell you. We'll find out.
Oh.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see it.
The major MacGuffin. But I can see on the screen some outdated tech.
That's right. Okay, so 3.
3 fingers, drink.
All right, here we go. All right, and that's 5. That's 5. So I got to take a bite of Cinnabon.
I don't have anything to eat. I'm just drinking.
You need the carbs from the Cinnabon is what you need.
I do not need carbs, I think you'll find. How many carbs are there in alcohol?
Depends on the alcohol, I think.
Lager.
Probably a lot.
Lager technically a beer. Are you like most people that just everything falls under the... Unless it's a spirit, everything falls under the category of beer?
I mean, like lager, ale, and beer. I feel like they're all kind of the same thing at some point.
Right, so we got our main man Tobias on screen with some extras floating around behind him.
Obviously, very, very glad that they're watching this game that he's playing.
Yeah, they look thrilled.
Mm-hmm.
They look absolutely thrilled.
An exciting, terrible version of Beast Wars. It's a great thing.
And there's PlayStation controllers, even though they're not on a PlayStation.
Yeah, and they play with trackballs.
Trackballs.
Who needs mice when you got trackballs?
Can we just have some appreciation for the clothing they all wear?
Yeah,
it's all very
distinctive.
90s. Tobias's hunky leather, Marco's strange orange coat, and Jake's denim. His trademark denim.
I mean, that's how you know that Tobias is a loner, right? Because only loners wear leather jackets.
Exactly.
One word.
See, and because it's already subplot. Because Cassie and Jake are both wearing denim jackets, they're destined to be together.
Oh, can you see the Cassie's? I bet she's wearing denim jeans as well. She's got denim dungarees covered by a denim jacket, and probably got some denim jeans down there as well.
Some people like them some denim.
Rachel's got that face that I feel right now, thinking about Cassie's clothing.
I thought you were gonna say the taste of the taste of the beer on the last one.
No.
The face that Rachel would have right now, since you hated it so much.
We've got to be aware of costume changes, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We've got to be aware of that. Okay. We've got to be aware, because if we miss that, then Medi Bollocks will give me out.
Don't do it.
I won't do it. I won't.
I'm doing Galactic Warrior.
Okay.
I
think we gotta do something for stock video game blaster sound effects.
Was it?
Yeah, those are some definite stock video game sound effects. Some stock video game blaster sound effects.
No. All right, one finger. Remember that you can pause this stream as well.
Uh huh.
Just if you spot something.
All right.
What a crappy arcade. Its machines don't even work properly.
Well, I mean, I think they should get a pass for alien technology interference.
Nah, bollocks to it.
Hey,
Homer doesn't like it.
you just got blown away.
Joke.
Here's the... Wait, what? Joke? Where?
Yeah, he said you just got blown away.
That's not a
and then
joke.
Marco gave him an eye roll. Oh,
That's
yeah,
not
it's
a
terrible.
joke. Shut up. No, that's how I feel about this, Homer. Christ, I'm running away from this attempted drinker side. No, I'm not. No, that's not a joke. You're trying to kill me.
No, I'm not trying.
If that's what counts as a joke, that's just like a. It's not. It's just a statement.
So, like, is there like a knock-knock? Do we need like a knock-knock clause then?
No,
Is that what this is?
no.
Like, does it have to go like it can only start with knock-knock, and then that's
No.
the only way we can qualify jokes?
Well, what do you qualify as a joke?
I would say anything at an attempt to make the audience laugh would be what I would say qualifies as a joke.
Exactly.
Which is why I would say that the ha-ha or you blew it is meant to be an attempt at being funny.
No, nobody's gonna name one person who would laugh at that.
An 8-year-old.
No, not even 8-year-olds are that cringe.
I mean, hey man, you are playing video games and you are very young. You do all kinds of goofy stuff to try to like make things happen. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Talking about jokes, by the way, what's your best joke?
What's my best joke?
Aye, what's your best joke?
All of mine are dad jokes. You don't want to hear any of them.
I appreciate the fine art that is the dad joke. Give us your best shot.
I don't know.
I'll start us off, right?
Okay. All right, go for it.
What kind of animal would you expect to see in a pornography?
I mean, there's the obvious answer.
Go on then.
But I want to hear the punch. I want to hear the punchline. The punchline's the best part.
A cockatoo.
No,
No, you're supposed to laugh, not a sort of.
no, it's
Okay, better joke. How many
Okay.
babies does it take to paint a wall?
oh man, all of them.
Depends how hard you throw them.
Oh man, oh man. Is that a dad joke? I don't know if I don't know if that qualifies as dad joke.
No, that's a dead baby joke.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of its own category of cringy things to say. Is
Well, as I said, I just read book 40, in which Marco says, you know, black comedy, gallows humor, or gallows comedy, you know, and he says, you know, it don't matter what you say, it's what actions you take, and I will not throw babies against walls.
True.
I will not.
Another PSA.
Yes, it's bad to
Don't throw
throw
babies
babies
against
against walls.
Don't throw babies against walls.
It's okay to joke about it, though.
All right, where are we going?
Shall we carry on? Home has
Yeah,
just
I
run
think it's a
away.
good idea.
Home, you didn't give any jokes. I'm disappointed. I think you should have a lick for that.
All right, fine.
A lack of joke
I'll
forfeit.
concede to that. There we go.
Oterloo, one finger as well. Why not?
Which one?
No, I like to force my minions to drink as well. The
Gotcha.
regulars.
Gotcha.
I like to make them suffer.
Them casuals.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I'm drinking myself now. I don't know why. I'm gonna get drunk anyway. Right.
See,
Wait.
you don't need me. You don't need me to call things out for you to want to get drunk.
No, it just makes it easier. There goes Homer.
Looks like those obedience classes are
Late title card.
That was a joke.
good.
That was a joke.
What? That they said or that I said about late title cards?
No, not you. Right, listen carefully.
All right.
Come on, boy, let's go. Looks like those obedience classes are paying off.
Oh, yep, there we
That's
go.
a joke. That counts. I'm counting that one. That's 2 fingers. Drink.
All right, there we go. All right, I think I got one more. And then I gotta take one more, and I gotta take a bite.
Oh, how dreadful.
I'm
I'm so
it's
sad for
pure
you.
pain.
I'm so...
It's pure pain.
How
Really
many
is.
cinnamon
Yep.
buns could an andalite eat? That's the real question.
All of them is the correct answer.
Oh, I hate when my bottle is exploding everywhere.
Oh no!
Just splashed it all over myself. I'm not even drunk and I'm being drunk. Alright, let's carry on.
I don't know. We gotta get him back.
Oh, there's Tobias.
Back.
He's really creepy in this episode.
they're missing the really good part about. I think they really missed the really good part of Tobias's character by not having Jake and them interacting with him before they go to the construction site. I feel like in the books, that's a really great spot where you're kind of introduced to him, and there's a little bit more kind of like relationship. There's just a little bit more character that's kind of put into who Tobias is and what his kind of nature is. That's very effective, and I feel like the show just does not.
You could say
that just wastes it.
You could say that about a lot of things. It's because they didn't know what to prioritize.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't. They had all this bollocks about the Andalite disc. Spoiler, that's the MacGuffin.
Mm-hmm.
And they could have done so much more with it.
Yeah. Really could have.
Right, what are your words to the executive producer, Deborah Forte?
What are my thoughts about executive producer Deborah Forte? I have no idea.
If she was standing right in front of you right now, what would you say?
Why did you want to do Animorphs? Like, what about it made you feel like this is something that I want to attach my name to?
I would just say
That'd
why.
be very interesting.
Why you do this? Why? She's probably a lovely lady.
I'm sure she is.
Then again, she might not be. In which case,
I mean, there could be baby wall throwing. I mean, you don't know.
Time to move on. I don't like this whole Homer makes them go to the construction site thing, and Tobias just casually walks in.
Mm-hmm.
This place creeps me out.
I want to point out that it's like dusk, and now it's nighttime.
Right?
So they must have been searching for Homer for quite a long time.
Come on, Homer. Come on.
Homer!
Let's go.
Homer!
Over here.
Homer! Homer, come here, boy!
Come on, boy.
Riker doesn't give a shit.
Do you see him? Nah, man.
I mean, it's like,
Let's go, Homer.
how many... I feel like he brought it upon himself by taking your dog to the mall.
Yeah.
Maybe not a
and
great call.
Not on a lead. Nothing.
Hey.
So yes, look at how creepy that looks.
Yeah.
It's just
Oh.
look.
Hello. It's
I'll
me.
pause it at the right
Tobias.
time. He's just standing
Of course.
there.
It's, again, completely weird, considering that, like, the whole purpose of what it was in the book was that it was like they were all together talking about things, enjoying time together.
It doesn't
And
make
then-
Tobias look any good, does it? It makes him look
No.
like a bit of a complete weirdo.
Right, which is like, why would you want to alienate one of your main characters directly out the bat? But
Alienate. Very
Boom.
funny, you should say that.
we got him.
Meditazic, one finger. Drink. And you drink, you have a lick.
All right, I'll do it.
My channel, follow my rules.
That means I got to do him. All right, that's fair.
Right,
Fair point.
right.
I'll take a, that means I got to take a bite.
All's fair in love and tyranny.
And Bunza.
And Bonza. And engine oil.
Well,
I
the
was-
musical sting doesn't help either, right? Like, it's a very, like, weird techno musical sting
Oh, the
directly when they show him.
The
Just
mu-
like,
The music's crap. It's just crap throughout the show. And the directing. And I was right, by the way. Look at Cassie. She's wearing jeans.
yeah, it's true.
So
I
was right.
is she wearing jeans over her overalls?
Oh, it might just be... Our dungaree's like one piece.
Yes.
Right,
Generally.
so it's just 2 items of denim, but it's still a daring look.
You got to know she's down to earth because she likes to wear denim.
But
She's
the
gonna go hug a
thing
tree
is,
afterwards.
in the book, they talk about her wearing dirty, like, denim jeans, and just generally really dirty clothing. Denim jacket seems like a fashion choice. Does it not?
I don't know. In the late '90s, early 2000s, you probably just like how like Jake looks. You have like Jake on the one hand, who is a very like this is supposed to be a fashionable jacket. I feel like Cassie is supposed to be the opposite end of that spectrum. Which again,
she doesn't look like a farm
maybe
girl.
fortunate. Yeah.
From looking at this now, she doesn't. She looks like she's trying to set all the hip and trendy, trends.
I mean, what's more trendy than children's television with live action? Got to get them kids.
I mean,
buying them clothes.
Keenan and Kel, the Amanda Show,
Yeah.
Goosebumps.
The Secret World of Alex Mack was the one that I really liked to watch.
Oh, God, I didn't even heard of that. What is that?
Oh man, so she's like a girl that it was on Nickelodeon. She's like a girl that gets spilled on with chemicals, and she gets like a bunch of superpowers, but she like keeps them a secret. Very similar in tone and concept, which is why I feel like Animorphs was a very natural choice for like, hey, this is the kind of stuff that we put on our TV channel all the time. So
Look how that turned out.
Oof.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
Seems okay.
Hey.
Hey.
Oh, thanks.
Come on.
Oh.
Good boy. Good boy.
And now Homer just comes back to look. I'm listening out for
What?
stock noises.
Look at that.
Yeah, stock dog noises.
Come on.
Not yet. That's the same noise. You hear that noise there?
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
it's the same noise they use for the Hawk Bajia.
Yes. Or any kind of like foreboding atmosphere. Yeah.
Are we going to call that stock noises? Usually stock noises, you think of that like really recognisable children laughter noise or...
Right, or the lady scream, or
Yeah.
the same sound of the cat. Right, the cat
Yeah.
always makes the same sound. That's why I asked about the dog, because because the dog, the
Yeah,
cat
but we
growl.
saw the dog barking on film, so that was obviously recorded. But I'm going
true,
to say, for the
true.
sake of this series, that I'm going to say that's a stock noise for the purposes of this. So that's one finger.
Okay.
Drink.
All right. Here we go.
Extreme.
So extreme.
Here they come.
Well, you know that Jake is cool because he wears a jacket over another shirt. He's wearing 3 different shirts.
He's truly daring, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean that was the styles. You gotta wear a short sleeve shirt under a long sleeve shirt. Wear another short sleeve shirt, another long sleeve shirt.
It's just
It's a Russian
90s.
nesting doll of shirts.
I miss the 90s. 90s was cool.
Had some good parts. Some good parts of the 90s.
Better than current year.
Well, I mean that's a given.
Where everything
No
revolves
global
around...
no global pandemics.
Everything
That's-
revolves around Twitter, and 90% of Twitter users are fucking imbeciles.
Oh, the internet.
Yes.
Making things weird since always.
Can we just, talking about styles, can we just appreciate Marco here?
Yeah, Marco's got a great coat. It's the kind of coat that my mom would buy for me when I was around,
I think you
Middle
misunderstand.
school.
I think you misunderstand quite gravely.
Mm,
I'm not
yeah.
talking about his clothing, but his hair.
Ah, his hair.
Now, that's a point of controversy.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, because of the long hair, the Marco haircut? Marco gets his haircut
it's
kind of thing?
a bowl, but the front of the bowl flicks forward on both sides. I don't know what he was trying to achieve.
Well, because I feel like the part down the middle that was so classic in the 90s was more about you have the part down the middle and then you go swoop back to the sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
The coming forward, gives him some minor horns, we'll say.
He's a minotaur.
A Marco tour.
Minotaur.
I'm in.
Oh, that's the one time in the entire series where Rachel acts in character.
Just jumping right in.
Just,
Yeah.
I'm in. Let's do it.
I'm in.
And then
Let's
that's
do
it. For the rest of the series, Rachel is just a shell. She's just the blonde one who occasionally says something.
I feel like we're seconds away from a Marco joke.
Let's listen in.
You're insane. Hey, wait up.
Oh,
no,
missed opportunity.
come on, Marco. You got to do better than that.
There's a quip. That's like a perfect quip. Perfect quip time.
But this show is a missed opportunity, and so it's various minor aspects are also missed opportunities. Listen to that music.
I'm waiting for the. Oh, they didn't. I'm disappointed. They didn't do a stock sound effect for the spaceship door.
That is disappointing.
Oh?
Did you see Tobias's eyes then? Look at
And we definitely needed the reaction shot of Homer, because what is Homer really thinking in this scenario? I mean, I'm sure there's something very deep going on in Homer's
He's
mind.
probably thinking ball or licking self or
Right.
right. Just look at Tobias here. I love this acting. Brace yourself.
Oh. Mine not. It's a very Saturday afternoon attempt at Spielberg eyes.
I'm sorry, Christopher Ralph, but not your finest moment. How shocked he looks.
I mean, what's going on now?
It's like the director off screen was just like, open your eyes a bit more, mate.
Right. I want it
Okay.
more intense, please. Faster and more intense with your eye opening.
And Homer just doesn't give a shit.
The dog cut is so fast. It's like...
Because
Oh, remember
that
that
he
the
was
dog
about
is
to lick
here
his
too, my guy.
balls.
There's something coming out.
Oh, no wonders, Jake.
This
No.
is the part where we hide on it.
Oh. This is when Michael was still saying Mexican things.
Hmm.
He said amigo.
You mean it's Spanish?
Well, you know what I'm saying.
it's the language of Spanish.
Yes, whatever.
I don't know. But it's
Don't
definitely
cancel
not
me.
Oh,
Oh, that was a joke.
definitely.
that was
Well,
a-
is it a joke or is that a cliche? I feel like it's definitely not from around
We're
here
not-
when
we're-
talking about aliens.
we're not
It's a cliche.
We're not combining the two.
I didn't say combining. I only said, is it a joke or is it a cliche? Because I feel like it's not from around here when talking about aliens is less funny and more is more just a thing that people say generally.
I've err on the side of joke, but that's mostly because it's one finger fewer.
Okay.
See, I'm playing that game.
All right. Well, I'll let you off the hook.
Yeah!
Because it's your channel. I'll let you off the hook because it's your channel.
Thank you
There you
very
go.
much. Thank you. I
Did
appreciate
a
that.
1.
Drink 2 fingers.
Wait. 2 or 1? Oh, okay, 2. So I gotta do 2. I gotta do another one. There we go. All right.
Right. Homer still doesn't look that peeved.
Yeah. Remember that Homer is still here.
Watch the eye stalks bouncing, by the way. Oh, it's gone.
I feel really bad for the horse that they painted for the lower legs.
Great slow-mo.
doing?
It looks like it's hurt.
Yeah, so?
So we have to help it.
What if it's like radioactive or something?
Oh, please.
Classic Marco. Strong women!
Empathy, it's hurt. Go help it out.
I don't know. If an alien landed in front of you, would you... and it fell over, would you be like, I'm gonna go give him a hand?
I mean, if it looked like an Andalite, probably more than like if it was like the Independence Day aliens or
But that's just you being shallow.
you know, the alien from Alien.
That's you being shallow. That's
You're right.
you being
I definitely have a bias.
alienist.
If it was a Skrit Na, I probably would not be cool.
That's
I
just-
probably would not go up and help a Skrit Na because those things they got probes for days.
But that's just mean. What if, like, the Skritnar turned out to be, I don't know, the Mother Teresa of Skritnar, and the Andalite was Jack the Ripper of Andalites? You know, he'd be making a dreadful
I was gonna say if the Andalite was actually any other Andalite than Elfangor, then that would be the $1 billion thing, right? Any other Andalite is actually trash.
Having just read book 40 and they come across Gerfinnerland for the first time, within seconds Tobias is trying to like talon his eye stalks off. It's like, Christ! In the first book you're like, these were like godly figures, and now you're just like, oh, any sign of him being dodgy, we're gonna claw his face off.
Hey, there's a lot of reason why people should be dodgy around. At that point, at book 40, there's a lot of reasons to be dodgy around Andalites.
But then, like, halfway through the book, they just decide, okay, we'll go along with him. It's like, okay, why?
Hey, man, plot. Plot's got to go. Plot's got to go where the plot's got to go.
I was thinking about what I was going to say to you about this book earlier, and I was going to say, I thought it was a great little quote I thought in my head, you know, it's one of those shower moments. Usually this happens after I've had a conversation. I think, oh, that would have been really clever to say. Do you not get those moments?
All the time.
All the time. I think we all do.
The comeback, you miss your chance for the comeback, and that's all you wrote.
But this time I thought of it before we had this conversation. So I've come prepared.
Pre-planning.
And the quote was, Shakespeare.
Workshopping the bits.
There's an apple in my hand right now.
Uh-oh.
The booketh.
Careful.
In which the characters follow the plot rather than the plot follows the character. It wasn't as inspiring as I thought it was in my head. Let's carry on.
But you know, we're gonna give you. You know what? I'll give you 2 licks for the effort.
Yeah, that's better.
There you go.
Right,
2 licks for the effort.
Ooh. Blue River, if you're watching. 2 whole cinnamon buns. I think I've killed Blue River. Because Blue River was eating cinnamon buns throughout the episodes, and recently they just stopped talking. I think they exploded.
Hey man, it's a dangerous business telling people to eat too many cinnamon buns.
Aye. Precisely, but you know, what a way to go.
All right, let's see these guys rally after the rally to the aid of the Andalite.
Let's look at this costume.
Okay, we'll go, I guess. Homer is still here.
The dog is to stay.
Was that a joke?
That's a joke. That's a joke.
Fuck me.
So 3.
We're not even like a third of the way through the episode.
Hey man, you came up with 6 rules, my guy.
Well, you know, this and that.
All right, 3 we said.
Duh.
2. Okay.
Duh.
All right.
As
I gotta
Le
take a bite.
Français would say.
Here we go.
This costume is abysmal. Which costume is worse, the Andalite or the Hork-Bajir?
Maybe we should try talking.
Hork-Bajir.
Yeah. Just let me get on my alien.
We got a different pronunciation.
Alien English dictionary. That's a joke.
Oh fuck.
Let me get out my alien English dictionary. It's a joke.
I was about to say, in a really sort of meaningful and gentlemanly way, that we both have different pronunciations of the bladed alien race.
Hork-Bajir?
Hork-Bajir. So I've got a harder J.
A harder J.
Yours is softer. Bajir.
Bajir. Yeah.
Bajir.
There you go.
I used to when I was first reading the books when I was a twatty little kid in school. I used to pronounce it Bajir. And some people still do.
I have you beat because my dad and I, when we were reading through it, we had no idea on how to pronounce it, so we just shortened it to Hawkbar. So when we read the book, because I read the book to him out loud, we just said Hawkbar was the name of the bladed aliens. Yeah.
Hoopla. That's weird.
Well, it's a lot easier.
You're
It's a
weird.
lot easier to say. It's a lot easier to say when they yell it, right? Because they yell it a lot.
Raptor.
So
Raptor.
Yes.
Right, listen to me now.
Okay, I'm
Listen
here.
to me. You're weird.
Yes. This is in other news. Water is also wet.
Is it?
Yes.
Fuck.
Believe it or not.
My world's
And-
changed.
Well, you know, just like Andalites landing in your backyard, we're all about expanding minds here. That's what this is. Open your mind to the reality of the world around you with animorphin things.
You're rambling now.
Yes,
You're
it's
rambling.
true. The joke got away.
I'm supposed to be the
away from
drunk
me.
one.
I don't need alcohol to make terrible jokes. Okay, they just come to me.
Well, neither do I. What kind of animal should you not give chewing gum to?
Seagulls, right?
A swallow.
Boom.
Let's carry on.
You stick here.
Right, Marcus had his joke. You think the Hulk Bajir costume's worse?
Where did that
Oh,
come from?
absolutely.
I heard it, but I didn't hear it. I heard it.
Does Fort
'Cause,
speak?
like-
Does Fort speak count as inner monologue?
No, because they're not talking to the audience. They're talking to characters within the show.
Right. Okay. What were you gonna say?
I don't know.
Let's carry on.
In my head.
We all heard it.
I'm speaking to you in thoughts.
Oh.
You're hurt.
I'm speaking to you in thoughts.
Right?
So you just think, eh. Nobody thinks, eh.
Think moaning. Think about how I moan when I'm hurt.
I just find that funny.
It's very bad.
I'm speaking to you in
Very
thoughts. These are my thoughts.
Do they do it like? Does that mean that they do it when they're lifting heavy things too? So like, if they were lifting a heavy thing, would they grunt?
I can think of
With
other
their
things
thought?
they're doing when they're grunting.
Oh boy.
Like,
Is that sometimes you have rules for naughty things? Does that mean that we need to do that for this?
I didn't say anything naughty.
I didn't know where
You've
you
got
were
a dirty
going with it.
mind. What is this?
I don't know where you're going with it. You're making jokes over here about animals and pornographies. Like, well, how am I supposed to know? How am I supposed to know?
Well, I'm British, right? You don't understand British humour.
That's right. Yes, I'm a dirty, dirty colonist.
British humour is very dry.
Mm-hmm.
Much like our
Yes.
women. Let's
Okay.
go.
We can help you.
I am El Fenor of the Andalite world. I've come.
Jake, give me a shirt. He's wounded.
Oh, but it's from Abercrombie.
There's nothing you can do for me.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Pew.
Why does Jake have to give his shirt? You've got
Because
one.
he's got three. Because he's got three. We were just talking about this. He's got 3 shirts on. The guy can obviously give a shirt.
This isn't freaking communism, you know.
Equal distribute. We're gonna redistribute. I don't know if Karl
We're gonna
Marx wrote about the
redistribute
redistribution
shirts.
of shirts
Oh my God.
to bleeding aliens. I don't know if that's in capital at all.
Well, let's think about. So Jake's got 3. Cassie's got 2. Alfanga hasn't got any.
Cassie doesn't have 2. She has 1.
No, she's-
Overalls
no,
do not count.
no, well,
Overalls do not count as a
te-
shirt.
Technically, she does have 3 layers on. She's got that red thing underneath. Then she's got the dungarees.
Yeah,
and then she's
That's
got
her
the jacket.
shirt. Right.
So that's
But
2.
she's gonna be but there's no way. Like Jake has 3 heavy shirts on. And besides, if she takes off her jacket, she's gonna be cold. And to take off her t-shirt, right, she has to unbutton the overalls and take that off. That's not good for anybody.
But
here.
wait,
That's not good for children's
Marco
programming.
has got a really heavy coat on. Does that count for just a single layer, or is that, does it add up
'cause-
to multiple layers?
Well, he's just wearing a shirt and a heavy coat. Jake has a t-shirt, he has his button up, and he has his denim jacket. If he gets rid of his button-down shirt, he still has his jacket and he still has his t-shirt, which means that he's fulfilling his good children's television programming show of making sure that you wear a coat when it's cold outside.
I've lost track of this conversation.
Then I think we should continue.
Right, power to the people. freaking equal distribute. No, government controls the means of shirts.
Yes.
Fucking.
That's exactly how that goes.
Set up the gulags and put in anyone who wears dungarees.
Yes, there you go.
Jake, give me a shirt. He's wounded.
Whoa, no, he takes off 2 layers! You see that?
Well, see, okay,
He
well, we
took
gotta
2 layers off!
No, hang on a second. You gotta let him you gotta see which one he actually gives. Does he give both shirts to the Andalite, or does he give one shirt to the Andalite?
We'll find out.
Here we go. Well, let him play. We'll see what
And
happens.
does Elfanger actually fucking use it? That's
And is Jake wearing short sleeves, or is he wearing long sleeve shirts? These are the really important questions.
This is it. We're going to find out the truth. We're going to find out
Yes,
the truth right now. I can't deal without the truth.
Yeah, see?
It's gonna be okay. Cassie knows a lot about animals.
That is degrade. Now that is a degrading comment. I am a sentient being who arrived here in a spaceship, but Cassie knows a lot about animals, so you know.
Fuck
You're
Rachel.
calling me alienist. Clearly, Rachel is the alienist.
Oh, Rachel's a bitch.
All right, we got to get to the shirt mystery. Let's see. Where's the shirt mystery?
Way to insult the guy, Rachel.
Oh, see, Marco knows.
Marco knows.
Boom.
Let's just appreciate this costume.
I mean, at least its eyes move.
But you
right?
know why they
At least.
douse it in shadows? Because they know that they wouldn't fucking get away with it if they put proper light on it.
You know, it worked. It's worked for science. It's worked in B movies for many decades.
I suppose. There is no time for fear.
The what?
The what? Okay, wait. How many fingers does he have?
They have 2 thumbs in the TV show, I think.
Do they? I was trying to remember. Oh yeah, they do. Okay, very good job, show.
Yeah.
I had forgotten. I'd forgotten if they had remembered that detail.
Even though it never was specified in the books that they had 2 thumbs.
They must have a host to live in.
That's a really small yerk, by the way. Like, look at that.
And that's
Picture your.
and that's a really bad 3D model. Does that count as outdated retro technology? It's
No,
terrible.
I wouldn't say so. It's just primitive version of a current tech.
Okay.
So
Okay.
just calm your grid, yeah.
Okay.
All right,
okay.
or you'll end up in the Oggin, right?
All right. I don't want to end up in the shirt gulag.
The dungaree gulag, I think you'll find. No, that's wrong. Takes over your thoughts and feelings. That's not canon.
Nope.
Nor is it consistent
I mean-
with the TV show.
Right.
Controllers. They can be anyone. Your family, your friends. Earth is their next target.
Very dramatic head reveal. The head becomes the planet, you guys. It's a really
Wait a second.
meaningful
You're
metaphor.
telling me that some slimy alien slug can crawl into our brains and take over our minds?
I was waiting for it to
Control
occur.
us?
Yes, there is no time for questions.
Repeated shot.
Do what I can for you.
Look at those eye
I have
stalks
no-
bouncing. That's just funny.
I have no time to explain that I have no time to explain. That's a cliche. I think no time to explain is a cliche.
Go on then. That's a cliche, and then I've got to go to the lab.
So is that 3?
That's 3 fingers. Christ almighty.
That's 3. All right, here we go. Here we go. Three licks. And I think that's another. My fingers got messed up, so I think I'm gonna do another bite of cinnamon bun just to be safe.
I'm gonna nip to the lab. I'll be right back. You keep the audience entertained.
Oh my!
Talk about the costume. Be right back.
Oh, the costume. Oh jeez. I will. You know what? I will say. I will totally say this. I'll go on a soapbox. I think that given the budget and the time for television, I think it's actually an okay. The Andalite costume is probably okay for the time period. The quality isn't great. I will 100% cop to that. But at least it kind of looks like something, and at least they like can put an actor in it, and they can kind of do movement. I still very much am sad that there was ever no Texans in the show. I feel like that was a very sad and missed opportunity, but it makes sense because what would you do? You probably would have to do like a CG Texan, and as the CG tax, like that probably gets really expensive. Late 2000s or early 2000s, late 90s. I mean, it could probably be okay. It could have been okay. It could have been okay. I mean, there's like hair and stuff in it. I'm gonna play it and just mean it.
Oh, you're gonna play it, are you?
Oh well, I mean, I'm just talking.
Are you gonna play it without me?
costume.
This is my channel, and you will not play it without me. What are you telling them?
Seen it. Huh? I was talking about how, for the time and for the budget, the Andalite costume probably not that bad.
Well, we're gonna see an even worse costume in a minute.
Yeah. The Hork-Bajir is a whole other ball of wax.
I have no choice.
It probably is just a ball of wax. Oh, where did he get that from?
His Andalite pants.
I thought you were about to
The
say
redistributed shirt. The redistributed shirts. See, he took the shirt and he was able to turn it into an Escafil device.
It's a magic trick. So like the bunny out of the hat. He took Jake's shirt, whirled it around a bit, and then whoop-de-doo.
See, I think that like that's another opportunity where they could have done something really cool, because like that's kind of the whole point, right? Is that it's like Jake goes in and gets the box. So like that would have been a really nice moment to figure that stuff out. But again, that's a whole other set you got to build, right? You got to build a whole other set.
That would cost at least £50.
I mean, you know what you could have done? You could have repainted the arcade set, and it would have looked just like the inside of the spaceship, right? Because the Andalites with all the plants.
But then you have to hire painters and put effort in and write stuff. Oh
man,
such a drag.
Such a drag.
Plus, it's white. Have you noticed that the cube is currently white instead of blue?
They bought their LEDs at Radio Shack. So
Christ, my LED that I bought for like £12 is blue. Like having the background to my videos is more convincing than that. But Andy just pulled it out of his rectum. It should be at least a bit brown.
Is Andalite? I don't know, dude. That's the whole other topic of conversation.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah.
Each of you must touch one side of the cube.
There you go.
If you don't, then everything you love will be destroyed.
It's quite a bold prediction.
Your sisters, your parents.
There's that peer pressure you were talking about.
Alright, peer pressure. Don't give in to peer pressure, kid.
Don't go give in to peer.
He's got his white van just around the corner.
This isn't peer pressure. This is deer pressure. Huh? Because the Andalite, like a deer, right? We're getting there. It's good. I promise it's a good joke. or not.
Right,
Dead silence.
Right, who's drinking cringe points for that?
I'll take all cringe points. That's
right. I will 2 cringe points. 2 cringe points.
All right, 2 cringe points. All right, let's see if everything they love is destroyed.
Man, this is insane.
Nah, mate. Why is Jake the first one?
At least they got. This is insane. Was in fact Marco's catchphrase. So they at least did that.
But then Jake wasn't the first. Why did they have to change it so that Jake's the first one to touch the cube?
Because his name is in the episode.
Because he's Sean Ashmore, and they knew that he was actor number 1.
Why does the box change to yellow when he touches it?
I don't fucking know, mate.
That's what I want to know is why does the box change to yellow?
I don't.
What about? Does it sense skin tone? And they're like, oh well, now we've got to be this fleshy, weird human flesh colored.
I think the Escafil device is just a sex toy. if I'm honest.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, and I'm the one with the dirty mind.
Well, what I do this when I feel like we need to move the conversation on. So I make it really dirty, makes it really awkward, and then we just carry
There
on
you go.
naturally.
And then we say, okay, well, what color will it turn when another person touches?
What happens when
No,
Cassie touches it?
Oh, don't go there, man. Don't go there. That's not cool.
I'm sorry.
That's not cool.
But the
Keep going.
conversation was asking for that edgy moment.
Sure.
It got brighter!
It got brighter. See, that's the correct answer is that it gets empowered by human souls.
Oh,
and
here we
therefore
go.
it
Here's
gets
the
brighter.
bollocks. Here's the bollocks.
Yeah. It's empowered by human souls.
Yeah,
Okay.
why did it go brighter when Cassie touched it? I don't understand that.
Well, it went brighter when
shit.
because there's more people touching it. So more souls, right?
Doesn't get bright when Margot touches it.
How do you know my name?
Oh shit. You hear Homer in the background.
Homer's losing his mind.
Uh-oh. It's like that scene from James and the Giant Peach. Big rhino in the clouds is coming for them. Was it a rhino?
I have not seen that movie in a very long time, so I do not remember. It's possible.
Now what? Something's wrong.
Oh, there we go.
It is done.
According to the books, specifically book 39, all you need to do is touch it briefly.
Yes. Give Homer the morphing ability.
So if
If
this
he
is
just like brushes up against it.
one of the only times that the TV show is actually more accurate than one of the books.
Well, that book
Savor
is
the-
its own thing.
Savor this moment. The power of change is in your flesh.
Change. What kind of change?
You need only to touch a creature to acquire its DNA matter and change your form.
Change our form.
D-
You mean we can change into animals?
It's what he just said. He
He
literally
doesn't
just said
have, he
it.
doesn't have time to fuck around, guys.
Yeah, he has no time to explain anything, but obviously,
The
it's this.
the obvious question that everyone brings up at this point is why doesn't Elfangor just morph something and heal himself?
Oh, that's
Especially considering how quick they
question.
morph in the TV series.
Well, because wouldn't you make the argument? Well, maybe I can't talk about that yet because of the. Oh no, because you've read Andalite Chronicles for this thing, so
yes, unfortunately.
So I mean, theoretically, at this point, the Ellimist has already told him that all of this is going to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you could like, as the series goes on, you could very easily make the argument that it's like, you know what, Elfangor knew from the Ellimist that this was going to happen, and that's why he doesn't try to morph to save himself, because he knows that this has to happen in order to make it work.
Yeah,
which is
all right, smart ass, you got me.
Which is why, here's the other public service announcement, kids. Don't do time travel.
Don't do time travel.
Don't do time travel.
It's bad. I mean, look at...
Ticket.
Which book was it? Oh, Christ, my Animorphs knowledge is disappearing before my eyes. Which was the time travel book that sucked?
Most people don't like the dinosaurs. Most people think that Time of the Dinosaurs wasn't great.
That was fine.
Some people
That was a
don't
good
like
book.
the one where they go to the Amazon.
That one was fine
Right.
as well. There's another time travel one that sucked. Oh, Christ, which one was it?
I liked both Megamorphs 3 and Megamorphs 4, which have time travel in them.
Megamorphs 3
I
was-
feel like those were...
Megamorphs 3 was awesome.
Yeah, Megamorphs 3 is great. It's a great book.
I'm trying to think
Great
of the time
Animorphs.
travel one that didn't work very well. Maybe I'm imagining it.
I'm sure. I mean, they technically do time travel in the Lyra one, right? Because it's the same effect as the Decision, where they go forward in time, and then they end up getting snapped back to Earth.
Oh, that was stupid.
That's the same book. It's the same. It's a still. Oh well, that's different because They only do the serial rip in the dinosaur book and the Amazon book. The decision is where they get sucked into Z space because of the size of the mosquitoes. So
Yeah.
that's what that one
I mean,
is.
the decision was large parts of it. I just want to forget. Let's be honest, it was, and they blew up a whole continent.
Yeah. Once again, Andalites are okay with doing really shady stuff.
And so are the Animorphs, apparently.
Yeah,
Well,
very much so.
That's that. Let's carry on.
When you change,
I'm gonna have to change my camera soon.
2 Earth hours,
Why? What happens after 2 hours?
you will be trapped and will fall forever.
Uh-oh.
Nothlets, baby.
Northlands.
What's going on?
The Blade Ship.
I mean, this part. I mean, the graphics here are all right.
Mr. 3 is here.
What's a Mr. 3?
You must go. Go.
Yeah, but the dog is going to give you away.
Mine now. Go. Go.
You'd think
This is what I
that.
would.
You'd think that
this is
they'd
what
have
I
seen
would-
them.
This is what I was saying to the camera while you were preoccupied, was that at least the Andalite costume allows like somebody inside of it to like do large body movements
To
that are
do
at
some
least convincing.
Yeah, do some expressive stuff.
Correct. You
So
can
what-
at least do some movement, as opposed to like the Hork-Bajir costumes that like they always have to do the close-ups of the Hork-Bajir costume, and they can only ever do like it's turning its head.
And I hate the fact that Hork-Bajir don't talk as well. It really annoys me. Hork-Bajir are my favourites, and they're so hard done by in this series.
Weird mouths.
And you notice that, like on the screen right now, the only time that Andalites ever show any like major movement, they have to be doused in shadow.
Yeah, it's classic. It's classic science fiction way of hiding your low-budget spacesuits. Let the imagination fill in the gaps. What could
But
it be?
I don't trust my imagination.
Oh well, you see, then that's a personal problem. I cannot help you there, my friend.
I spent all my imagination on booze.
Apparently.
Oh, fuck off with the Andalite
There we
disc.
go.
There's the MacGuffin.
Come on.
Why didn't... So, not only did he
Oh.
pull an Esquivel device out of his anus, he also took the disc out of there. And it probably
Yeah.
belongs in there, let's be honest.
It's a bad MacGuffin. That is true.
Oh, it's fucking awful. Why? I don't know why they bothered. I suppose it was just a plot device so that anytime they got across a plot point and they didn't know if they could afford the budget to do it properly, they just thought, oh, we'll make the Andalite disc solve the problem.
It's a thing, right? Yeah. Well, when they don't have acts for so many episodes, right? You gotta have some kind of thing to give them information because you're not gonna, tell it in a normal, reasonable way.
Does it count as a cliche, a MacGuffin?
I don't know if that's a cliche. I think a MacGuffin is just a storytelling device, so I think you're gonna get off the hook on that one.
Ah, thank God for that.
Yeah. Well,
Af-
I'm here for you, buddy.
After
okay?
my next forfeit, I'll be out of beer, so I'll have to go get some more, and I'll probably have a cigarette and change my camera as well, so we'll have a break. But that's after the next
All right.
forfeit.
All right, there you go.
Oh, here he comes.
The big man himself.
The same footage, but mirrored.
That's how you know he's bad.
Yes, alternate universe Elfango.
The only difference would be he needs a mustache and a goatee.
Yes, exactly. Oh, you get the reference. Horsey.
Dun dun dun.
Eye stalks that never move.
He has power mullet.
Everything's different.
Oh, look at those
Look
eyes.
at that.
They're so convincing.
He's got yellow eyes. That's how you know he's bad. It's because his eyes are yellow,
They don't even
Like-
look like eyes.
like a bad guy.
I'm guessing that's Visitor 3.
Nailed it.
Look how,
Uh-huh.
I mean, the costume from this angle looks acceptable, unless,
Yeah.
except for when you notice how crap the Stalk Eyes are.
Yeah. But at least he moves. I mean, he's got some eye movement.
Yeah, the eyes
his
have-
eye stalks kind of move around.
The eyes have got a little bit of a glow to them.
Yeah, sinister. He's got red on the outside, yellow on the inside. Very clear villain.
And yet his Stalk Eyes just look shocked.
They're made with Play-Doh, so you can only do so much.
I'll forgive them.
There you go.
Oh, there was some movement.
Yeah, he opens them.
He moves the one on the right moves an inch to the right and then back again.
Agent, you managed to trick quite a
Well-
few of our fighters.
So the thing that's weird about this is that I feel like he does have 3. I thought that the nose slits on this one, there's some visual interest to them, right? They kind of have these wobbly edges that make it look a little bit more organic.
Yeah.
But when they show the light on Alfangor's, it's they are cut with a butter knife.
Right, let's have a look.
Taken one of your andalite bodies as
Again, it's
They got
doused.
they got a little bit. They got a little bit of that movement in there.
It's doused in shadow as per usual. You can see where the head has no hair, but then as soon as you get past the neck, it's like they've coated it in some sort of hair.
Yeah. They need more. They need more facial hair. I think is what
Yes.
the bottom line is that there needs to be fur on the face as well, because otherwise it just looks weird.
I mean, in the shadow, this costume doesn't look that bad from this angle, in this light. This particular sketch. Basically,
It's a lot of caveats. It's a lot of caveats you're given.
the director spent most of their time just thinking, right, how do we make this Andalite costume look somewhat convincing?
Right.
my host. Your andalite morphing technology has been so very useful to me.
How do you think about his
It's a good maniacal laugh.
his voice? Because it does that thing that they do of zombies, where they sort of double the voice and put one a semitone or two higher, so it's got that sort of demonic sound to it.
So I played a lot of StarCraft, and in that game, the Protoss, who are also aliens who don't have mouths, if you are familiar with it,
No.
they speak in the same way. They have a very similar modulation to their voice, and they even have a sync delay. So part of what they say is said kind of after and a little bit before, and it gives it this kind of ethereal quality. I'll give it a pass.
No matter how many bodies you steal, you will not win this war. We will fight you. You and your andalite armies are fighting on too many fronts. Your forces are spread too thin. This
Are they, though?
will soon be ours.
Why Earth? Why these people?
Because there are so many, and they're so weak. Our army will be
cringe.
1 billion strong. And then I promise you one thing, Alfangor. I will return to your world and personally oversee the infestation of your entire family.
Dear God.
He's got great menace.
So
He's
that
got.
I can hear their mouths scream.
Eugene Lipinski, innit?
Okay, stock monster noises.
That is stock noises. It's that wheel thing again, isn't it?
Right. Well, and the monster roaring is obviously a stock noise. So
Right.
whether do you want to do one stock noise or two stock noises?
Is there two stock? I'll believe you. I'll just believe you. How's that sound?
All right. So
I'm a
that's
trusting
two.
sort of
That's two
person.
each, right?
2 fingers.
Two
Drink.
for each. Okay. So. All right. There we go.
Ah. They're all looking up. And of course we can
That's
only see the
Spielberg, guys.
claw.
All right. See, they'll let your mind do the work.
no budget. And then here come the bumbling, fumbling morons with their torches.
Over there.
I love this next bit.
Tell us your 3, we have a problem. Release the Hawkfish shooter.
Release the single crappy costume hawk budget.
Like, what are they? They're not animals. They're Yerks too, my guy.
Jake's lost his denim jacket.
Okay, so he did. He gave both his shirt and his jacket, and he's wearing shorts. Is he wearing short sleeves? I think he's wearing short sleeves.
He's wearing short sleeves. So Cassie, what a bitch. She just said, right, I'm not going to sacrifice my jacket. Jake, boyfriend or future boyfriend, give me your clothes.
Hey, man. I don't know about you, but when you get a chance to help someone, I say go for it.
Nah, fuck people.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
No, fuck them.
Vandalites are people too, man.
No.
Okay.
Come on, Homer. Oh, Cassie.
Oh no, innocuous tubes!
just what are they?
They're tubes, man. You don't know. It could be construction stuff.
Construction. There's the stock noise. 1 finger drink.
All right, that's 5 licks for me, so I get another bite. Take a lick.
How many bites have you had so far?
I've had about a quarter. I've eaten a quarter of the cinnamon bun.
Well, that's nothing. You've hardly done anything. I'm practically drunk at this point.
You need to revise the rules then, my guy.
I demand that you finish that cinnamon bun right now, Sonny Jim.
I will. How about this? I'll give you this one. If we get to the end of the episode and I have not finished the cinnamon bun, I will finish the cinnamon bun.
Oh, but that's pathetic. You'll have like 1 bite left.
Maybe. I don't
Blue
know.
River exploded, right? Trying to keep up with me.
Yeah.
She practically self-destructed.
And whose fault is that? Huh? If we're gonna have an Animorphs discussion here, let's talk about the moral ramifications of making somebody explode from cinnamon bun consumption.
Well, the moral standard that I hold to is one of gentlemanly conduct, and when you enter a contract, you see out that contract, and Blue River entered said contract and saw out said contract via spontaneous explosion.
Oh, there you go.
And that is the way it is.
Then justice has been done, I guess.
Justice has been done.
Oh, jeez, so sad.
What is
Blue,
that?
I mean,
Blue River needs to blink once to let us know that they're okay.
I mean, why has E.T. got horns and whiskers? I'm genuinely baffled.
They're not blades. They're definitely horns and not blades. I will say that.
And it's got whiskers.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. That's a weird one.
How you want to find out? No, thanks. I'll read the book.
Oh, I'll read the joke.
Yeah.
I'll read the book is a joke.
That's basically the director saying, okay, we don't want to explain this thing, so just go read the fucking book.
Hey, remember, this is based off of a book series.
2 fingers drink.
Now you know. All right, here. All right, 1, 2.
I can't believe how badly done the Hortbajir were.
So, like, I was thinking about this in preparation for this. I can understand why. I can understand the base. Would you mind going back to a picture of the Hork-Bajir?
I've just realised, by the way, that my lapel microphone had fallen off, so the microphone probably hasn't picked up anything I've said recently.
Beautiful.
Well, that's just showbiz.
Yep. Live television, folks. Okay, so I was thinking about this. So in the books, they describe the Hork-Bajir as having snake-like heads, right?
Yep.
Snake-like heads with a beak. So I was when I was doing my own personal like artwork of Hork-Bajir, I mostly base it off of like tropical birds because of the beak, right? Since that's the big defining factor. But I thought briefly about the snakehead comment. They could be trying to go. There's a specific kind of like viper, like a sand viper, like a horned viper that has like two horns above its eyes, and it's very similar to this. So I have a sinking suspicion that like the concept designers and the people who are making the thing might have been looking at the snake head of a specific like horned viper and thought, oh, this is a really intimidating looking snake. Like, let's totally use this.
But this thing does not look intimidating.
That is the problem. Yeah.
It looks like a crappy E.T. ripoff.
Well, especially because its head is on like the neck is basically like a stick, right? And they're very like, but it kind of looks like that somebody's. It's weird. Here, press play. I want to see its eyes move because I was noticing its eyes blink. Oh no, it's a mechanical eye. Okay.
No, thanks.
What did you think it would do?
I don't know. I didn't. I had a like. It kind of like almost looked like it was like a more like a natural eye blink, but it was not. I was way wrong. Oh, name calling.
Yeah, that's not very nice. Fuck you, Jake. That's mean.
I don't know. Wanting to fight a Hork-Bajir does not sound very smart to me.
But then again, when it's clearly drunk and it's like its vision is wavering here, there, and everywhere, it can't be that bad.
So I'm gonna say that's a monster vision is totally a cliche.
Is it though? I've never seen it.
Oh, it's such a cliche. Oh, come on. Anytime, like in any like monster movie, like when they don't show the monster and they're showing it chasing somebody, they absolutely do like the weird like blobby monster vision.
Oh, I'm gonna trust you, right? And if Mehdi
Right.
Bollocks has got any sort of, gentlemanly conduct about him, he will come back to me and he'll say, "Oi, Raptor was lying, and he shall eat 5 cinnamon buns." Right.
Fine, I'll do it.
3
So that's what,
fingers.
2? That's 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then take a bite because that's 5.
You're getting away really light with this. I'm gonna have to up your forfeits in the future.
Hey man.
Here come the fumbling, bumbling idiots. Notice how slow
Over
this
here.
Hork-Bajir is.
Oh,
It's actually managed to hit Jake.
but not cut him. It cuts his shirt, but does not cut him.
But then in the very next shot, Jake has managed to get away and hides.
Oh, he manages to break line of sight when it's a giant open field is way beyond me. I don't understand.
Yeah, that's just weird directing. That's just...
Listen, I've played video games. I know. You gotta break line of sight. That's how you gotta break line of sight, and then you can hide in the bucket and then they won't see you. But
Maybe the Hork-Bajir was Jarahami.
oh, boom.
He was drunk. I would explain it.
Oh, great.
I mean, I know the stock noise is like happening every 5 seconds. Do we count it every time, or?
I don't think that. I feel like this sound that they're doing for the Hork-Bajir is not a stock. They've like modulated it and done enough of it that it's not a stock. Like that's not a stock sound. Like
Yeah, but by our rules, whereby that is a stock noise, it's happening like every 5 seconds.
Yeah, I think we've done a fine job of saying, hey, we'll do it the one time. We acknowledge the existence of the stock sound, and then we can move on.
Okay, I'm happy with that because.
And it has to be a new stock sound. How about that?
Oh my God! Look at
Now
that.
that is amazing. A, does not have a tail. B, clearly a weird muscle suit. That boy is thick. Look at them thighs. He does all kinds of stuff on leg day.
Not as thick as Chris Grind graphic novel adaptation.
Andalite. True. That the Andalite. There
No,
was
just the
nothing
Hawk
thicker
Bajir
than
in that
a-
as well. The Hawk Bajir and Chris Grind's novel. I mean, I love it. I love the graphic novel, but I don't think the alien designs are on point.
Oh, see, I disagree because I think that like for representations of the classic look, I think that they're pretty decent.
Well, the Hawk
I would
Bajir
say that, like,
Andalites.
But I would say all. I would say Taxons too, because I think that the Taxons. I don't think the Taxons look too bad either. Like in terms of like an adaptation of the classic look, I think they do a fine job.
Yeah,
like,
but
you know,
the Andalites have these. They look like the Crimson Chin. They do. They got like massive jaws. Like the Hawk Bajir have got like really stumpy legs that just wouldn't work for climbing trees. And
I don't know.
I don't know.
You're talking to the wrong person, because when you did the Hawk Bajir, you know, what do they look like? You know, what I envision them looking like is very not in line with what most people think they look like. So I'm absolutely the wrong person to ask.
Yeah, your headshot of the Hawk Bajir was
bulky.
Not so much bulky. It was definitely the most realistic one.
That was my goal.
But I don't know. I thought of them as having. I know they're not supposed to look friendly, but I imagine having a bit more of a friendly look to it. But I think you've gone for the more sort of I don't
You said dinosaur. You said
dinosaur.
dinosaur.
Dinosaur sort of look.
This is fair. Which is fair. I can understand that.
I don't know how the bloody hell you did it. I don't know why you haven't done full body work.
Well, I posted the full body sketches that I did in the Discord.
Oh, you posted the sketches, but that's not the
I posted
3D
the sketches, yeah.
image, is it? Yeah, no.
It's not,
I'm
it's true.
disappointed, Raptor.
Hey, you know what? I'm here to disappoint people. That's my great joy in life, is disappointing.
Mate, I've been doing it for years. Practice makes perfect.
Well, these Hawk Bajir definitely disappoint too with their awesome muscle suits.
Oh, and again, it's doused in shadow, so he can't actually get a good look at it.
And his hands! Oh, the hands!
And there's only one. Taxons don't exist in this universe.
Right.
And only 5 seconds ago, it was right behind Jake. What are you going to do, Jake?
Probably gonna look really sick.
And then Home is there.
Homer, come here. Come on, Homer. Come on. Come here, boy. Come on.
Oh, what's going on, buddy?
Homer, it's you. Come here. Come here.
Nobody spotted the dog.
They magically turned that corner and then they appeared. That's how they showed up.
I love calling them the fumbling, bumbling idiots, because that's all they are. They're just fucking... They fumble and they bumble.
So you need some, like... You need a catchy name for like really bad controllers.
Shit weasels.
We'll workshop it.
Alright. We'll get suggestions from the viewers,
There you go.
if they aren't already paralysed with alcoholism.
Right.
Oh, this bit is fucking awful. The distinctive leg
That's
scratch.
right. That's right. It's the leg scratch that's what gives him away as Chapman. Which is that the Yerk? Then the Yerk is the one that likes to do the leg scratch, right?
I don't freaking know why this is a thing.
Well, because in the book they said that it was his voice, right? That he recognized the voice when he said, "Bring me their heads," right? Like that's the big, and like that's like scary and like kind of creepy, right? So then like hearing, like putting two to two together in your head that like your vice principal was asking for your head to get cut off, right? But the leg scratch is definitely not intimidating.
It's not the first thing that comes to my head when I think of intimidating traits.
Leg scratching. Because nobody else scratches their legs.
I've never scratched my legs. My legs are unscratched. They are the unscratched.
The untouched. The
The untouched.
joy.
Oh, God. Talking about legs. Got the blades.
You mean the not Tyrannosaur feet?
I don't even know what they are, mate. Fucking Play-Doh. Somebody's put on a pair of Wellington boots and just added like little extra blade things on them.
I need your help, Homer.
Oh, this bit.
Inner monologue.
No, because he spoke it.
No, he didn't.
He did.
No, he didn't.
No,
he didn't. He did not speak it.
Right.
No way he spoke.
He spoke it. He saw his lips move.
Mouth. Okay, his mouth. I didn't see his mouth.
Right,
move.
an extra finger for you for lying.
Okay, fine.
For
I'll do
being
it. That's
disingenuous, for being a charlatan.
Yeah, I am. True.
How dare you? I hope my audience berates you mercilessly for that injustice.
Did I do it?
There you go. This part annoys me.
The sound effect is how you know that he acquired Homer.
Ah, yeah, good point. I wouldn't have known if he didn't. If they didn't put that sound effect.
You know, there's no reason that they could have done like a really interesting like cut or some kind of like cool like fade or like on-screen effect to like do it. No, it's just, let's do the sound. This is a little suction sound effect.
Instead, we get this green screen of Homer with the Hork-Bajir shot behind him,
walking around. He definitely did. See, okay, then the Hork-Bajir didn't hear him say, "Help me, Homer."
Apparently, Hork-Bajir have great hearing, according to the books.
Right. Marco told us to go read the book, so maybe we should do that.
Maybe we should do that. Funny thing, I am doing that, and for the most part, the series is good, but there are some books, 37, that are utter shite.
Yeah. There's some hard ones to get through. I will admit there are some hard ones to get through.
There are, especially in the 30s.
All right.
The separation, the illusion, the weakness, the hidden, and the other. Not fun.
Yeah.
Not fun.
We gotta see the first morph.
Right. Well, I'll leave you to brace the audience for that because I'm going to go to the lab. Okay. So you've got to build up. You've got to build up the tension, right? You got to make it worth the while. All right. I'll be right back.
We'll set the emotional scene here, people.
Exactly. You do the job.
People.
Do the job.
A person in a tube in a construction site. People probably didn't see him get in the tube. Probably didn't see the dog get into the tube. Probably didn't hear the guy talk to the dog in the tube. But what the show is really all about, at its core, at its heart, the change in their flesh, as Al Fangor said so eloquently. The change in flesh. Definitely not weird. Definitely not intense. Obviously, for very legitimate purposes, this will happen. And everybody will love it. I remember at the time when they did come out, though, that it was genuinely as cool. It wasn't as intense as I remember reading it in the book, but I remember at the time like watching it and being like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's how do you make somebody do it? I mean, because like realistically, there was not a lot. I think at this time, like there was not a lot of media that did that. I mean, like the only things that like come to mind obviously are like horror movies, right? Like,
are you Canadian, by the way?
No, I am United States. I won't.
Just the way you said horror.
Is that a Canadian thing? Horror?
Horror.
Is that a
horror?
Horror.
Horror.
It's my amazing American English. That's the.
So sorry, I cut you off there. I have no idea what you're talking about. If you want to finish the sentence for the audience, please do.
Oh sure, yeah. I was just talking about the I was just talking about the nature of like how they did the transformations. Like at the time, I thought they were like, as a kid, I remember being underwhelmed because like in the book they take like 3 minutes and they're obviously very graphic and very brutal, right? But like when I had seen this show, this was kind of like my first exposure to like the idea of like a person changing into something else, because I hadn't seen anything yet like American Werewolf in London or John Carpenter's The Thing, where they do really elaborate like transformation sequences, because it would have had, if they were going to do it, it probably would have been done in practical as opposed to digital. But I think was it you that they had said that it took them like 6 weeks or whatever to
6 weeks for the morphs. That's what it says in the Meet the Stars book. So we'll look at what they do now, and we'll consider 6 weeks worth of work. So let's have a look. So this scene took 6 weeks to make.
Aww.
Not the dog part, obviously. That was 10 seconds.
I mean, that's a very hard dog to work with, apparently. Yeah. I could see that taking I could see that taking 6 weeks in the late 90s.
That first shot with the nose probably took a while. And maybe this one. Yeah, I don't know what technology was like in the 90s, so I can't really comment. I
mean, you know, like Toy Story was the 90s, right? And that was amazing at the time. So, you know, it's
not that it brought the show much success.
No. But like this first morph sequence, you know, it took time. I say it took time, right? Like they said in the book, there was like different parts of him that changed at different rates, which was also in the book, right? So, you know, the first one, and then maybe not too bad.
And then you get to like the last episodes where it just becomes so lazy.
They walk. It's like a thing of Scooby Doo, right? They walk behind the thing and then they come out the other side.
Oh, it's
really different.
It becomes a bit cringe.
Yeah.
Oh, Homer, no bark. He's barked at absolutely everything in this episode, and then the one.
Look at that poor dog. He's traumatized. He just saw his person turn into himself. What is more traumatizing?
He's got PTSD, post-traumatic stress dodge.
See,
Doge.
Exactly, Doge sadness here. Look at those eyes.
Post-traumatic stress Doge.
He is sad. He is a sad, sad dog.
No, he just wants a ball. He's wondering why nobody's throwing a ball for him.
He's hoping the Hork-Bajir will throw the ball for him.
How did this chunky fungy mungy manage to spot what was going on in this tube?
I was making that comment while you were gone, which was that it was like, it doesn't make any, like, nobody saw Jake get in there. Obviously nobody saw the dog walk in there. Nobody heard Jake talk to the dog while there's the tube, even though the Hork-Bajir was like right outside walking around it.
And yet this chunky monkey from about a mile away is like, there they are.
There they are. Even though Chapman was scratching his leg right next to it. A couple of dogs?
And then they just let them go.
Hey! There's no Dracon beams.
And he stole a torch.
Is that Jake that stole the torch, or is that Homer that stole the torch?
Well, I don't know, probably Jake.
Is it supposed to be Jake? I don't know if that was ever, like, clarified.
Did you find them?
No, sir. Just a couple of dogs.
Get those dogs, you fool. They might be Andalites.
Yes, Eugene.
They're just like...
Yeah, it's not...
Yeah, they don't ever say. They don't say if it was Jake or if it was...
Which dog is which? Yeah, they don't. Not that it really matters. It's shit regardless.
Last night when I got home, I called Jake.
That's a fancy school, by the way.
I certainly never went to a school that fancy.
Look at that.
California schools, man.
Fucking California. I reckon we should nuke California.
Oh, jeez.
Where are you from?
I don't want to say on a video, but I live in the Pacific Northwest. I live on the west coast of the United States.
Bomb it.
Yeah, so when I got home, I called Jake.
Oh, this part annoys me, by the way, the directing.
Because of the fact that they're like sitting like looking at each other, or the camera moves. What's bugging
the
you?
camera never sticks in a certain spot for more than a second. It just...
Yeah, well,
I'm getting like epilepsy watching this.
Smart.
it's like that quick Homer cut.
Sure.
Look how quickly it's changing. It's crazy.
Here.
Hey, Tobias.
You're gonna get a seizure
hey, guys.
watching this. Oh, by the way, clothes change.
Oh, costume change.
Costume change.
That's what-
2 fingers.
That's what. Two. Here we go.
Drink.
All right. Costume change. Does the morph count as a costume change?
No. No. Why would it count as a costume change? Come on, Raptor, behave yourself. You're trying to get me drunk again. And by the way, because they've all changed costume in the same scene, it counts as 1. I'm not drinking 10
Correct.
fucking fingers.
Correct. Yes, it is a generic costume change.
Except for Cassie,
Although Cassie-
she's still got a denim jacket on.
Because she's the practical farm girl, right?
But farm girls don't wear denim jackets, do they?
I know quite a. I grew up in a small town. I knew lots of people who wore denim jackets.
Fair enough. She's changed her shirt though; it's now white, as opposed
Correct.
to red.
But she's practical. See, Cassie is practical. Okay.
I love these S shapes in Marco's hair.
Very
you know-
smooth operator. It's less horn than it was last night.
Yes,
It's more subtle curve.
He thought, oh, aliens are invading. Might as well change my hairstyle just a little bit.
Hey man, takes work.
It does take work. Gotta keep up.
He's got a
appearances.
good fate. That's right.
I tell you what, for my future, in the future, I will get like a denim jacket, and I'll be like Jake.
There you go.
Or I might get
There
an
you
orange
go.
coat and do my hair like Marco's got his done now.
There you go.
I
See?
shall be the
That's how
belle
you
of
get
the ball.
views. That's how you get the likes. That's how you get the likes and the subscribes, is by
Exactly.
being groomed.
I am very well groomed, I feel fine. Well, I do need a haircut though. In the military, right, you're not allowed to have hair long enough that it goes over your ears. That's the rule. So if
There
your
you
hair, so my hair right now would be bad in the Navy. It's too long. If it goes
How
over your
dare you.
ears, it's too long.
Well, we're glad you're a civvy now.
Alright?
Funniest thing happened to me last night.
Got more time to make bollocks videos like I do.
Put me and a few other idiots. Tried to
Look
save
how
the
quickly
world.
the director is
Tobias,
changing
you want
cameras
something to
here.
drink?
It's nauseating.
Wait, okay, hang on a sec. We got to go back. Was that a joke? We were talking over it. Did Marco tell a joke about saving the world? I didn't hear.
Remember that you can pause it and move it around. Let's have a listen.
4 nights. Put me and a few other idiots. Tried to save the world.
Quiet. You want something to...
Nah, that's not a joke.
You don't think that's a joke?
No.
It's just sarcasm.
It's not even that. It's just offhanded, facetious statement.
I hear you.
You just want to get me drunk, don't you? Why do you want to get me drunk?
It's
What's the reason?
part of the bit. I'm committed to the bit.
How much of a cinnamon bun have you got left?
Half.
Jesus Christ! I've gone through like
That's right.
6 bottles. And
That's
you've gone
why
through-
I've tried to tell you. I try to stop it. It's not about getting you drunk. It's about me. I want to eat this delicious cinnamon bun, and you are denying me my right to the cinnamon bun
Right.
because I'm calling out these things.
Right. Anytime anytime the camera changes, you've got to take a bite.
Whatever.
You'll be dead within a minute.
Exactly. Especially in this scene, I will have I will die of
You
a
will
heart
have
attack.
the same fate as Blue River.
Oh, let us know you're okay, Blue River.
Blue River, if you're still alive, please tell me.
What if that thing got him?
Uh-oh.
Oh, Jake's lost his denim jacket. He's angry at Cassie.
Hey.
He's angry at Cassie. She lost it.
Uh-oh.
I mean, it works.
It does annoy me that Tobias
I became home.
is actually...
That's how.
Tobias ends up being the last one to morph in the
Yeah.
TV series, whereas in the books he was the first. That just annoys me.
Well, and it's sad. It's sad because it's really sad because like that moment where like Jake and Tobias are in the room together kind of talking about everything, it really kind of like, you know,
It's a great scene.
humanizes Tobias, right? Humanizes Tobias. It gives Jake a little bit of conflict, right? About, you know, do I actually believe this? Do I actually want this?
It's a great
right?
scene, yeah.
It's a great scene. It's a great scene for character building, and like why you couldn't do that, like why that couldn't be a scene to establish more of a relationship between two characters in your show.
Because we needed more Andalite disc.
We needed more Andalite, yes, and awesome plant arcades. That's the
Yeah, and plant
plant arcades is the way.
Let's just get sick watching this director.
Seriously? I was trapped. No, I had no other choice, and I remember what the alien said.
Change of your flesh.
I just started concentrating. All of a sudden, I
Change
started
animals!
moving. You know, I could hear my bones crunching and twisting. I watched my arms become paws.
Just talking about this in the school cafeteria. At least he brought them in close so we could whisper.
You were hungry?
Actually, a copy. I mean,
A supreme lack of Cassie's barn in this show. Major sin against the show.
No, there's plenty of Cassie's barn.
But they don't like have meeting. They don't like do meetings all the time in Cassie's barn, right? They only do it like occasionally. It's not like their spot.
I don't think that's the worst of the TV series crimes, though.
No, obviously not.
What is the worst thing the
not.
TV series did? What is the worst
This is the
thing?
worst. I think that one of the things that I dislike most about what the TV series did, from my memory, because this is the first time that I've watched a full episode since I watched it way back then. I would say the worst thing in my memory that the television show did was that the episode where the crocodile thing happens. Right? The crocodile book with Rachel being allergic to the crocodile and her going on like the daytime TV show. That was one of my favorite books. I really like the amount of like seriousness to hijinks was like it was a really good balance in my opinion, and that episode just missed all of it. And I think that was the thing for me is that it's just like it just misses the tone of, especially like the great tone in the early books is that amazing balance of both humor and like serious kind of like these are some really bad things that are going on type of scenarios. I think that's the greatest sin of the TV show is that it misses the tone entirely, and that episode is proof that the show misses the themes of the book.
A fair point. I think the worst thing of the show is that it just completely bypasses some key points of the book series. Completely bypasses some really important stuff.
And especially because the books did such a great, like, especially the early books, which they're clearly referencing in these early episodes, right? There's so many great little character moments that you could have to build a greater thing. And I think that there was the episodic nature of the book betrayed the writers of the show to be okay with stretching out a story. Like maybe instead of a book being an episode, right? Maybe you have like 2 or 3 episodes as a book, right? Because like give your characters like a little room to breathe a little bit more. And I think that like TV shows now probably get that a lot better. And I think it's why, like, for me personally, I'm more in the camp of I would be interested to see an Animorphs show or miniseries instead of a feature-length movie. Because I would rather that, like, you take time to kind of, like, let the characters breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Because the characters is what makes Animorphs. If you don't have Jake, Rachel, Cassie, Marco, Axe interacting with each other and, like, doing it, like, they're the crux of the show. And if you miss that, then you miss everything entirely.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where that sin of the show kind of comes in, is that it really misses the opportunity to, like, make these characters feel like people.
To be honest, I feel that was one of the things the TV show wasn't that bad at, was establishing the characters. I think Rachel was I don't think they did a good job with Rachel, but for most of the Animals, I think they did a good job of establishing their character traits and playing them off of each other. Do you think the series? How do you think the series would have been if they had a larger budget? Do you think it would have been more successful?
I don't know. I don't think that you need a big budget to make a good Animorphs show, or to make a quality Animorphs thing. I think that they could have done it. I think that it could have been possible. Obviously, a bigger budget.
I disagree.
See, I mean, come on. Obviously, a bigger budget is going to afford you, like, a ton of options in terms of, like, how you play out certain scenes, right? But I think that there's plenty of examples in other, like, you know, a lot of what are now, like, you know, really classic monster and science fiction things that get away with a lot with a very little.
But a large part of Animorphs is the aliens. Look at this show, for example. This is a show that tried to do Animorphs, but on a low budget. It didn't work. The alien costumes were so unconvincing that, well, they scrapped the Hawk Bajir halfway through the series because it was so crap. The CGI was pretty bad. The green screen was atrocious.
Right.
And the problem with Animorphs as a series is that there's so much stuff that requires budget to make it convincing on a screen. It requires it. And if you don't have it, then it just doesn't work. It's so grand. It's so grandiose.
Yeah,
that
that's
it
true.
needs that budget.
That's true. It does need, but I'm not discounting the fact that, like, it needs some budget, right? I just think that, like, there is a way. There definitely, I think that the problem with this show is it is a problem with the time that it was made in, because both the technology and the money could not get them very far, right? I think that now you could probably do a show like this, because the technology to make this stuff is so much, like, easier. It's so much more accessible.
Yeah.
You could very easily make a lower budget Animorphs TV show now, and it could still hold up, like, visually kind of well. I think that, like, I think that's kind of the problem, is that it's like they don't. I agree with you that, like, a big part of Animorphs is the aliens, and interacting with the aliens is really important. But I think that, like I was saying, if you stretch, instead of trying to make a single book an episode, if you made a book 2 or 3 episodes, then you could, like, build up that alien encounter. Because even in the books, like, yeah, they encounter aliens, but, like, it's really the scenes that the aliens are in are kind of few and far between. A lot of the big crux of it is them morphing, right? Them coming up with the plan, them doing those types of things, and then, you know, the big action set pieces is kind of the icing on the cake. So I don't know. I think that like, but I'm of the opinion that if you had well written and well acted enough characters, then you could probably get away with most anything. And I think, but again, that goes back to my underlying problem, I think, with the show, which is that it misses the themes. The writers missed out on the themes of what made Animorphs really great. And so they didn't write it in a way that was true to the spirit of especially what that early stuff was, which is this, this really kind of grappling of all of these things of coming of age and, blah, 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 blah.
I think you make some good points. I do think, though, that as much as you say that having good characters and keeping it character-driven would make a good show, such a huge part of this series is aliens. And you can't
Absolutely.
take... Convincing Andalites, convincing Hawk... Those are the two big alien races, Andalites and Hawk-Bajir, that play an integral part in the show. And if they're not convincing, then that's a huge chunk of the series taken away.
Absolutely. But like that's my kind of like my point, right? Is like trying to figure out like budgeting, right? When are you going to use that alien? Right? When is it going to be? Because it needs to be for like a really specific reason. Like bringing out that stuff needs to be for a specific reason, and it needs to be impactful. Mm-hmm. Like the part that they had with Visor 3, where Visor 3 is standing over Elfangor and he's talking to him. Yeah, the Andalite costumes aren't great, but the combination of the acting and what little motion that we got from the costume, I don't know. I feel like it's at least that part. I know that in the later parts of if I remember correctly, in the later parts of the show, it gets a lot more worse. But in that part, it generally felt like there was some good moments there. He was chewing the scenery. He was making it happen.
But they didn't even try with the Hawk-Bajir, though.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the thing, right? It's like, and especially in the first book, especially in that first scene, right? Like if they had budgeted the time, I think that like if you had the show, the first episode, kind of have more of the character stuff of them at the mall, right? So you can kind of like get to know them a little bit more. So then by like the middle of the episode is where they're in the construction site and they're listening to Elfangor. That's kind of the thing. And then, you get to the tail end of the episode, right? And then Visser 3 shows up. And then you end the episode with Elfangor getting eaten, right? And then the light shining on them saying, "Hey, you!" Right? Then what you can do is that you can kind of have this where it's like, okay, well, we only really need like this one scene that we can shoot from a bunch of different angles, and then we can have, maybe more Hawk-Bajir, because we don't have to worry about trying to like cram so much into like a specific part. Like there's a way that you could like move the camera around and maybe, just kind of budget it a little bit more. And I think that that's the thing is it's like, I don't think that it's impossible to do on a low budget. I think that you could do it, but I think that it required a lot more forethought and a lot more planning than they probably had.
And there was like the book series as well. So we talked earlier about books between 36 and 40, how there just seems to be very little planning. It's all done one episode at a time, and it's a detriment to the series. Anyway,
sometimes,
I want you to talk about that. I need to go to the lab again. Have a monologue. Okay. How do you feel about having a monologue?
Depends on what I'm monologuing about.
Talk about...
Give me a topic. Give me a topic and I'll talk.
Oh, a topic. How closely this episode relates to the actual book. That's your topic.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, carry on.
It probably... It really doesn't adhere closely at all. Like, if we're being really honest, it does not match up nigh at all. It basically said... It gets some of the beats, right? It starts at the mall, goes to the construction site, them talking about it. But that's kind of where it gets fuzzy, right? Because it's like in the book, it's all very much, they're at the mall, they walk to the construction site, everything happens at the construction site, and then the next day, Jake and Tobias meet up in the room, they talk about stuff, and that's all well and good. And that's kind of like what I was saying earlier, was this idea that all of those scenes in the book do an amazingly economical job of setting up who these characters are. And specifically with Jake being the narrator, it really sets the stage for something that's more grounded. right? He's got conflict about did this really happen? Especially when you're a kid, like that stuff really has an impact. And I think that like at some point, that's kind of what again, like what I was just talking about. That's what the show ultimately misses, is that it misses this grounding in these characters, because that's who you come back and you read. That's why people have their favorite books. They have their favorite, narrators, is because these characters you connect with these characters on a real level that most, for a lot, in my opinion, a lot of fiction doesn't really kind of get that close to.
But fuck book 37.
Book 37?
Yeah, fuck it.
That's the hit. That's no.
The weakness.
Oh, that's the weakness. Yeah, the weakness is real bad. The weakness is real rough. That's a real rough book to read.
Just thinking. I'm looking at it now. I sellotaped it up. It's.
I was gonna say you need to be careful with that, because you get so sad.
Oh, it just makes me sad. Yeah,
You get sad. All right.
Right, let's watch the rest of. There's like 4 minutes left of this episode.
Yeah. Motivational. Jake needs a motivational speech. We need a big motivation here. Let's see how he lands the motivational speech.
Let's do it. In the words of Rachel.
Right.
The worst character in Animorphs.
Oh.
Are you gonna contend that?
It's a hot take. That's a hot take.
I mean, of the six main characters.
I think you need to qualify what worst means. I think that the worst character in the series. That's
worst character.
Because I would say
the character.
I would say the worst character in the series is David. That's like a hands down.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the main six. I'm talking about the main six, as in their character was developed the worst.
I will say that Rachel probably has, like, out of all of them, Rachel has the books that probably hurt her the most. I think that Rachel does more development. I think Rachel does more development in other people's books than she generally does in her own, with the exception of like a couple. But
I just think she was easily the worst handled character, followed closely by Tobias. I mean, a lot of people like Tobias, and I get
a lot of people like Tobias.
But
I like Tobias.
He doesn't really have. His main character trait is that he doesn't keep secrets very well.
He's a sad bird boy.
Tobias. I secretly like broccoli. 5 minutes later, hey guys, did you hear that Adam secretly likes broccoli? That's Tobias's main character trait. He's a snitchy little git.
Maybe, I don't know. My feeling always was that Tobias was the sad bird boy. He's generally just kind of sad about things, which, Tobias had a rough life. He had a rough time.
Jake's my favourite, and I'm in the minority because not many. Jake is fucking awesome.
I like Jake. I don't have any problem. I have very little problems with Jake as a character.
A lot of people say he's a bit boring, but I mean, I've done a lot of leadership training, so I think that's where I'm coming from. I'm seeing it from that perspective, and Christ Almighty, he's come a long way, my boy Jake.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to be a person in charge. It is very difficult.
It is.
It's lonely at the top, and I think that I feel that Jake, especially by the end, that is made abundantly clear. And I feel that Jake has a very well realized character arc throughout the entirety of the series.
I think easily the best developed character, at least at the point where I'm at the moment, which is around book 40. Yeah. Easily the best character development. Easily, not a question.
And I will always be. I'm a big Marco guy. I feel that Marco. I feel that a lot of the stuff that Marco grapples with, and the where he starts, and then where he ends. I think Marco has a very, very understandable and very good character progression.
Did you see what Michael Grant put on Twitter?
Well, we were talking about it on Discord the other day.
About Michael Grant straight up just called him a sociopath. A
sociopath. I'm not a doctor. as somebody, I will say, and I think I said this as I said it in the Discord, so I'll say it here absolutely. As somebody who relates a lot to Marco, and as somebody who deals with a lot of empathy stuff, I don't think that Marco is a sociopath.
I'm just looking.
I've never got that. But I will say, Michael Grant has always said that he identifies Marco is kind of an embodiment of himself, and I almost wonder if that's kind of him projecting.
I'm just looking at the definition of psychopath. Why do I keep saying psychopath? It's not the same fucking thing. Sociopath. A person with a personality disorder manifesting itself in extreme antisocial attitudes and behavior.
Yeah, and Marco doesn't fit that. Marco doesn't fit that category, right?
No.
I think that it is very easy for somebody to look at the character trait of Marco, where he says, "I see the line," right? Because that's his big bit, especially at the end, as he grapples with a lot of his stuff, right? Is that he sees the line of, I know how to get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't think that that's, in general, I don't think that that's a negative character trait. And I think that if you would ask most people, I think the clarity that he has about that, I don't think that makes him a sociopath.
So
I think
I found
it makes him understandable.
I found a 9 symptoms checklist. Number 1, lack of empathy.
Yeah,
I think
Marco has lots of empathy.
No, at times he doesn't. At times he bypasses empathy, which I don't think is a lack of empathy.
Right.
Symptom 2.
Well, that happens in the. I'm going to stop you there for a second. That happens in the book. Like he talks about, especially in the books where he talks about, like where he has big run-ins with his mom, right? When he has big run-ins with Visser One, like it's pretty obvious that he's emotionally conflicted about all of it, right? And he does it. He has emotional conflict about Jake all the time, right? About how he wants to help Jake, how he's his friend, right? He has empathy for his dad, right? Like how much he does for his dad. Like his main motivation in the early books was he didn't want to do the war because he didn't want to leave his dad without another person, because his dad was already an emotional wreck from the loss of his mom.
But if I can,
so that's already. I think that we don't need to dwell on it, because it's like he already fails the initial qualification.
But if I can
lack of empathy.
If I can play devil's advocate for a minute, that's specifically his family and close friends. When you consider people that aren't in his immediate circles, look at David and how Marco treated David when he arrived into the group. Showed him no empathy whatsoever, despite his predicament.
Because Marco knew, and I will push back on that one, because Marco knew, right? That was kind of the whole thing with like, okay, he has a cobra, and his cat is named Megadeth. Like, okay, this guy's got some things going. This guy's got some things. Like, the reason why Marco didn't handle it well, I would make the argument for sure that Marco ends up pushing David further because of the way that he treats him, right? If Marco had treated him with more empathy and he had been a little bit more kind of like that, but Marco kind of, I said it in the Discord, Marco has a bad way of dealing with his feelings, right? He has feelings, he has emotions, he has all of those things, but he just deals with them in an appropriate way, like 98% of the time.
Yeah,
right?
I agree with you. I don't think Marco is a sociopath. I was playing devil's advocate, but reading through these 9 things, just bear with me a sec and think of Rachel. Okay, so I'm going to go through these 9 symptoms with you.
Okay.
Lack of empathy, difficult relationships, manipulativeness, deceitfulness, callousness, hostility, irresponsibility, impulsivity, and risky behavior.
I mean, Rachel definitely has several of those of those parts of her character.
She's more of a sociopath than Marco, I would say.
Again, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not gonna sit here and make any kind of.
Yeah, I'm just talking relative. I'm talking relative, because Michael Grant called Marco a sociopath, and I'm saying now Rachel fits more of those characteristics than Marco does.
Yes, I will agree with that. I will agree with the statement that Rachel fulfills more of that criteria, but I still think that like.
I don't think any of them are sociopaths, but.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, but like, and like I think that's the thing, right? Is it's like Rachel has those problems, and she wrestles with a lot of that stuff, right? And I think that that's kind of the point of her character, right? Is it's like there are going to be some people who enjoy the conflict, right? And so, you know, how do you deal with that? And then how do you come to terms with that as a 13-year-old, right? Like, especially someone who it's like, you know, up until that point, she had been the perfect girl, right? She was in gymnastics. She was well liked by everybody in the school, right? It's like discovering a part of yourself that is contrary to, you know, what society kind of expects of you can be a really challenging thing. And, you know, I don't know.
I wish they'd have handled her character better, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of Michael Grant, calling Mark a sociopath, I mean, he's the author. He's the
not on board
author, but Michael Grant has had some pretty weird hot takes recently. So,
I think that the text of the book is very clear that Marco's not a sociopath. Like that's
it does make
pretty
you
clear.
It does make you wonder where Michael Grant's coming from. But yeah, as I say, Michael Grant is it's not the most reliable of sources, even if he is the author.
That's why I say I wonder if he's projecting a little bit,
possibly,
right? Because when you're a person who can, and you know, in Marco's own words, right? He's like, people are going to look back and they're going to think that I'm the ruthless one, right? Like history probably isn't going to look back as favorably on me as it is on everybody else in the group because of the way that I am okay with doing certain things, right? Like. And when you're a person who's doing serious self-reflecting, you tend to think the worst about yourself. And you know, Michael Grant always has said that he identifies most with Marco. So, you know, I think that that's just a situation where he's kind of like Michael Grant is projecting his own insecurities on a character because he has 120 characters or whatever in a tweet.
I did have a falling out with Michael Grant, but you know, he wrote my favourite book series. You know. He's in my good books.
He's allowed to think what he wants.
Yeah, of course he is. Right, we've got 4 minutes left of this video.
Yep, let's
Shall we
finish
see
it
how
after.
far we get before we have to take another tangent?
Yeah.
Let's go.
At first I didn't know what I was. You know, I could...
Directing.
And the smell.
Basics 101. Don't make your audience feel sick.
Here.
You don't believe me, do you?
Here.
No, we do.
That's nauseating, mate.
It's just...
Hang on. Is he gonna tell a joke?
It's just too weird.
Oh no.
No.
Beyond too weird. Way beyond.
Cheers,
I
Rachel.
swear, it's true. I mean, I keep on thinking I'm gonna wake up and this is all gonna be a dream. But it's not. What we saw last night was real. It happened, right?
Because Jake is getting a lot of Tobias's lines, right? Like those are mostly Tobias's lines in the book when it's just him and Jake.
TV show. You had one job.
and then it wouldn't have done all those weird cuts that drive you up a wall, right? If it was two characters in a room talking about it, we wouldn't have to do so many cuts.
It's just so basic. I mean, I don't know how they fucked this up. I feel sick watching this.
It's probably also all the alcohol. Let's be real.
Yeah, I'm on my 6th bottle. Just for the audience,
Fast
by the
food.
way. I actually drank 2 bottles before I started this episode. So... And you
That's on you.
How much of your cinnamon bun have you eaten?
I'm at half still.
Oh,
I've
for
got...
fuck's sake. Right, eat another bite.
When we're done, when we get to the end of this episode,
Oh, for fuck's
I will give you a treat.
All right, yeah, okay, whatever.
Motivation for you to get to the end of the episode.
Let's do it. Awkward silence.
Wait,
Save the world.
How many... Oh my god, so many shots.
oh, can we eat first? People laughed. That's a joke.
Is it no? Well, we need to distinguish whether something's a joke within the context of the show or external to the show.
Do you want me to eat the cinnamon bun?
All
or
right,
not, my
fucking. All right then. Whatever. Fucking drink.
guy? That's 2, right?
2 fingers, drink.
Two. See, that gets me another bite of cinnamon bun. Okay. 2
Also
licks
gets
of the-
me more
2 licks of
freaking
the
drunk, doesn't it? Fucking
Yeah,
TV
I'll
show.
even do-
I cannot wait till Face Off.
Oh.
That 3-parter near the end of the series. Wow. It is cringe-tastic.
There you go.
What do we do? Where do we start?
With this bottle of Sunny D.
How about that blue?
Blue dude.
You know, the nice one. Elfanga. Yeah, he tried to give you something.
What was it?
Oh, they
It was
don't.
like some kind of a disc or something. It's gotta be important. He said to guard it with my heart and my soul.
Oh, my heart and my soul.
I have to
Not his
guard
body.
it with my
Notice he
heart
did
and
not
my
say
soul.
Not guard it with his body, though.
No, just his heart and his soul.
Just his heart and his soul. So you know what? Right now, Tobias, he's off the hook, right? Because in his heart and his soul, he wants it protected, but he's not protecting it with his body right now. So
Yeah. Fuck you, Tobias.
Tobias is okay. He's okay right now.
No, he's not okay. No.
Name. How come?
Like I know, he's probably telepathic or something.
That disc, I mean, that's
He is-
gotta be
he is
able to help us.
He did do, yeah.
Literally the whole point of what happened was that he was telepathic. Absolutely 100. The alien was telepathic, or something.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
I
It's
mean,
not even funny. I'm too drunk not to laugh. Look at Marco's hair. You could fucking pull. You just grab. You put your fingers in there and fucking pull his hair off.
right?
Oh, director, stop
Got
it.
us on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. Didn't you hear the news? Yeah, they're looking for some kids who set off fireworks.
Fireworks. That's a lab. Maybe they're lying. Maybe they've got yerks in their heads.
Yurix.
Used to be in.
The fuck? Why was that necessary? Was that just
Because they wanted to cut. Because they wanted to punctuate it, right? That it's the danger, right? Because he just said, "Oh, the yerks
Of-
could be anybody,"
of some
and
idiot
now they're going
falling
to
over their-
punctuate it.
some idiot falling onto their table? And then-
This guy could be a controller. Maybe he's trying to listen in on their conversation.
Or maybe they just
Another
thought,
reason.
okay, we've had 5 minutes of just zooming between them talking at each other. We need to break it up with some guy falling
Yeah.
over.
Hey, snap you out of it. Like, whoa, wait a second. This is a lot bigger. It's a lot bigger than what the 5 of us are engaging with.
And now here he comes, Dr. Leg Scratch himself.
I was gonna say the
Hen-
completely character trait of leg scratch.
Friday.
Very, very unique.
We need to make note of this sign at the back, though. Friday
Oh, it is hot dog day.
is hot dog day. In Britain,
Oh,
right,
boy.
Friday is fish day.
Oh,
So tomorrow I'm having fish for dinner.
nice.
Because it's alliteration.
Beautiful.
Talk.
Everyone loves alliteration.
Anyone could be one of them.
Controller.
Slow-mo.
That guy.
That means
That
drama.
guy could be a controller. Those girls could be controllers. Your
See-
fork. That girl could be a controller. Chapman could be a controller.
Well, Chapman is a controller, and we know.
Is anyone going to rein in
Oh.
this chaos, or do I have to do everything myself?
I like what his definition of chaos is: people walking and sitting.
It's very, hey, children should be neither seen nor heard.
Exactly.
Chapman.
Especially her. Especially her. She isn't wearing denim. That's a clear
Right, well,
sign
there you
that
go.
she's wrong.
Yes, she's obviously a miscreant because she's not wearing a denim jacket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Incompetence.
Incompetence.
Here
Incontinence.
it comes.
Fuck me.
Oh no! The leg scratch!
Fuck. I
So
can't
this is going to be a
believe
character
it.
trait that obviously comes back later, right? Like, this is a very important thing about Chapman's character, right? Very important.
It's unbelievable. I've never seen it in my life.
Never. No. Only this one person has ever done
The
this.
leg scratch of doom.
Mm.
Jake knows.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Doesn't even matter that he's wearing the same outfit from the.
Yeah, Chapman hasn't gone for a costume change, so we're not drinking to
Nope.
that. Right.
He didn't have to take a thing for costume change.
Ellen, we just talk to each other. Trust no one. Principal Chapman's in control.
And he knows just like that.
Yeah.
Just like that. He scratched his leg. Fuck, he's one of them.
He's that's the
That's
same
it. That's it.
terrible cowboy boots and leg scratching that I saw the night before.
Could you tell that they were the same boots? I mean, it's hard with the resolution of the video.
It looked pretty similar. It looked pretty similar.
Well, it's a bit more understandable if it's the same boots, but whatever. We're getting to the end of the episode now. I'm drunk.
5 of us against an army of aliens.
In a monologue, 2 fingers,
And
drink.
anyone could be
There we
one of
go.
them.
Duh, duh, duh.
Dun dun dun.
And that's that.
That's that.
That's
How
that.
wonderful. All right. We made it to the end of the episode, which means I will eat the rest of the cinnamon bun.
You better fucking do it.
It's right here.
And in the meantime, I shall give... I mean, I know I've done an episode of this before, but I never actually gave ratings. I just complained and got drunk. What would I give this out of 10? I've got to think relative to the rest of the TV show as well. It certainly wasn't the worst. Probably give it a 7. Because it was largely accurate to the book, even though it wasn't. What's your opinion?
All right. I'm going to give it a solid 5.
5?
Solid 5.
Is this relative to the rest of the series, or you just...
I'm going in, I haven't, like I said, I haven't rewatched the series since it first came out. So this is my second view, the first time I've watched it prior to that time, all that time ago. I'm going to say a solid 5.
Oh, fuck.
There were some things that were close to the book. There are a lot that wasn't. There's a lot of missed opportunities.
See,
The first more, pretty good.
You should find it worrying that you've given it a 5 and I've given it a 7 relative to the rest of the series. You should be dreadfully worried.
I feel like middle of the road. I feel like very middle of the road is a perfect way to describe this.
Yeah.
It's not anything extraordinary. I'm not willing to say it's anything above average. I'm not willing to say it's anything below average. It's pretty much right smack in the middle.
We got some right clangers coming our way, I tell you.
I believe it.
The worst part of the episode, of course, was the Andalite disc, which is the worst part of any episode it appears in.
I think that Tobias's lack of anything in this episode is probably the worst part of the episode.
Possibly.
A complete waste. He is a complete waste of space in the entirety of the episode.
Oh, well,
He's our second POV character, right? Like when we're not looking at Jake and Marco, in the very first thing, we're looking at Tobias. And Tobias barely says any words in the entirety of the episode.
But he does stand creepily with the dog.
Exactly. And he does the big eyes, right?
Oh yeah, that scene, that was great.
He's got his great big eyes in that one. But he doesn't do any of the we don't get any of his development. He doesn't have any connection to anybody else, right? The fact that all the other characters are together and Tobias is just kind of by himself, right? And they don't meet him until they get to the construction site, and then not having Jake and Tobias talking together to help build that relationship and then obviously establish more of the rules of how the world works.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it kind of gets bad, is that it's Tobias in that first book was really a major driver of all of those things, and the show just misses all of that entirely. It totally throws his character out the window and is like, I guess he's here. He breathes. He's alive.
And he wears a leather jacket.
Until he goes to school. And then he doesn't wear a leather jacket.
No, then that's it. It's character over. Done.
He's only a bad boy when he goes to the Plant Arcade. That's the only time that he's a bad boy. But then when he's playing really weird versions of Beast Wars on not a PlayStation.
What was your highlight of that episode?
Visor 3's monologue. 100%.
Oh, really?
Visor 3's monologue was 100. I was actually mentally engaged with what was happening.
Yeah,
100%.
I got to say, I probably agree with you. It was an episode with no thrills, only a few spills.
There was a lot of falling down.
There was a lot of falling down, especially Cassie.
There's a lot of bumping.
Cassie, she fell over.
Yeah, she. Hey man, you got to watch out for those tubes. How did Cassie get away? I'm amazed that she was able to escape the slow plodding of the Hork-Bajir.
Oh, the freaking half a mile an hour robotic shuffling of the Hork-Bajir.
that can only cut T-shirts with its incredibly sharp blades evolved for cutting tree bark.
Don't even get me started. I like the Hork-Bajir too much to even try to think about their representation in the TV show. Fucking cringe.
I'm assuming that's your worst. Your least favorite.
My least favorite moment of this one was, oh Christ, the fact that they had to use Homer to get to the construction site. I mean, it just felt so unnecessary.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It is pretty bad. Anyway,
and your highlight then?
Oh, my highlight. I think. I was agreeing with you with the Vista 3 thing.
Yeah.
So that's
Vista 3 had a strong, good showing.
Right, it's 20 to 1 in the morning. My fiance's annoyed at me, so I'm going to go make up with her. Thank you very much, Raptor. And
you're very welcome.
I'm looking forward to the rest of it, because this was fun. If you've enjoyed it out there, drink an extra finger for us. That's your forfeit. Right, thank you very much. Speak for me, Raptor.
You're doing a great job taking this out gracefully.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You say "Tara," right? Tara. That's the thing at the end of the episode.
Right, you have to say it though.
Huh? All right. Should I do a British? Should I try to do a British accent too?
No,
should I try to do it like?
That's cringe. Just.
All right. We look forward to you in the next video, and Tara.
That's cringe. Tara.